Are you looking to move to St. Mary's County and just kind of wondering what it's all about? Watch this video and I'll explain everything you need to know. All right, what's up everybody? My name is Rob Scout and I'm here with EXP Realty in Southern Maryland. If this is your first time on the channel and you're looking to move to Southern Maryland, make sure you use that contact information below to call me, text me, whatever, and I'd be happy to help you make that decision to move down here. Now, also what you can do is scroll down to the first comment, go ahead and click that link, and what that link's going to do, it's going to schedule a meeting with me one-on-one through Zoom so we can talk about your home buying needs. And last but not least, if you have not done it yet, make sure you scroll down, click subscribe, click the little bell so you're notified every time we put out this helpful content. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And like I said, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of explain St. Mary's County as a whole. Now, you may be moving to St. Mary's County for multiple different reasons, but a lot of people move here because of Patuxent River, which is the Naval Air Station. So I'm going to kind of give you guys some insight of what it's like to live here. You know, I would consider myself a local. I've been here 15 years now, so what it's like to live here as a local. All right, so I'm going to go over 5 things. I'm going to talk about the employment opportunities, the population centers, how the school system is set up, why there's so many little towns, and also what's coming next. What does it look like for St. Mary's County 5-10 years down the road? All right, so let's start with number 1, employment. And I kind of talked about this before. The biggest employer, period, in St. Mary's County is Patuxent River. So the Patuxent River Naval Air Station is 100% the biggest employer in all of St. Mary's County. Now, there are other kind of contractors that support the base itself, so you don't actually work on base sometimes. Sometimes you're working for those contractors that support it. But by far and away, the base is the biggest employer in St. Mary's County. Now, we also have our local government, which employs a good amount of people too, and the school system as well, which is a pretty large school system, and there are tons of teachers, administrators, and stuff like that. And there's also other service industries that support all the people that are working on base and the other people in the community. Now, some people do live in St. Mary's County and also commute out of St. Mary's County, but most of the time when they're doing that, it's to support some sort of base-related kind of job. You know, they're still working base adjacent, so sometimes they'll have to go to DC or go to other naval bases. Not a ton of people, you know, really live in St. Mary's County and commute daily to DC for other reasons than that. But, you know, there are commuter buses. There is a park and ride where you can park and actually take a commuter bus up to DC. So if you don't mind a longer commute, say an hour and a half or so, then it might be a right choice for you. All right, so the number 2 thing I said I was going to talk about were the population centers. Now, St. Mary's County, by all accounts, is a pretty rural county. There are lots of places where you can go, you can get away from people, you can have a few acres and really not have a whole bunch of neighbors. But there are some population centers. If you're looking for neighborhoods, if you're looking for other families, if you're looking for that kind of stuff, you might want to look there first. So number 1 is Leonardtown, Maryland. And Leonardtown, Maryland is the county seat. It's where the town hall, it's where the courthouse is and all that kind of stuff. And there's a cute little downtown with restaurants and, you know, it's starting to get some more shops. And there's actually a hotel that went in there as well. And there's a really cool waterfront. And it's definitely growing. So Leonardtown, I'd say, is kind of the one of the main population centers with a bunch of neighborhoods and stuff like that. But it doesn't have as much shopping as some of the other population centers. It has kind of some local shops. It has some grocery stores. But when you start getting it out into other areas like California, Maryland, or Lexington Park, that's where you're really seeing like the Targets, the Lowe's, Walmart, that kind of stuff, more of the chain restaurants, the chain shops. So if you're someone that wants to be close to those shops, you're probably going to want to look at California, Maryland, Lexington Park, Maryland. And also in those 2 areas compared to Leonardtown, the home prices are a little bit more affordable too on average. And there's different varieties of home types. So if you're someone who wants a 0-lot lifestyle, I mean, you don't want to take care of any grass, you don't want to do anything like that, your options are limited in Leonardtown. And you might want to be looking at California or Lexington Park instead of Leonardtown. Last place I would say is a population center. It's the northern part of the county and it's into Charlotte Hall. Now, it's not as big of a population center as, say, you know, Leonardtown even, or even, you know, into California, Lexington Park. But there is a lot of neighborhoods right around there, and there's a lot of, right on 235, there's a good amount of shops and things that are really starting to come in to Charlotte Hall as well. So that's another one to check out if you're looking to be around people. Other than that, it's a lot of rural areas with some pop-ups of neighborhoods and kind of stuff like that. But yeah. All right, so that gets me to the next one, and this is number 3. Why are there so many towns in St. Mary's County? If you've started researching St. Mary's County as a place to live, there is just tons of towns. On my drive up 249, which is, I'm in Piney Point, and going up 249, we passed through like 5 different towns technically on a 10-mile stretch. And it 100% has to do, for some reason, St. Mary's County has a ton of post offices, and with those post offices comes towns. So we just have like a ton of these little small towns that are towns just because they really have a post office. So and they all have unique names. Like I live in Piney Point, right next to those tall timbers. You have Valley Lee. You have going into Leonardtown and Callaway, and these are all just within 10 miles of my house right now. So when you're looking, it can be overwhelming to think about all the different little places, but understand it's not like a bunch of spread out towns. They're just small, not even real towns, because they don't really have downtown areas. Like I said, Leonardtown is one of the main downtown areas. They're just like little areas for a post office, basically. It's very unique. So the number 4 thing I want to talk about is the school system setup. This is a question I get a lot from families, is how is the school system set up? I know throughout the county, or throughout the U.S., they're all set up different ways. So for us in St. Mary's County is its own whole school district. In all of St. Mary's County, there is 18 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, 3 high schools, and there's 1 K through 8 charter school. And depending on where you're living, you're going to go to a certain elementary school, and then funnel into a middle school, and then funnel into those high schools. Now, like I said, there's only 3 high schools, so there's not many choices there. There's one that's down in Great Mills, which is Great Mills High School, which is Lexington Park area. There's Leonardtown High School, which is kind of middle county. And then the northern part of the county is Chaptacon, which is that very rural part of St. Mary's County. And so a lot of people base their decisions on those schools and where they want to live. And what I would recommend you do, instead of just kind of taking anyone's advice, go on to niche.com and really go through the school rankings and see what best fits your needs, where you're seeing, the different schools that, you want to be a part of. If you really wanted to be in Chaptacon and be in that more rural area, you can figure out, kind of reverse engineer what middle school you're going to be at and what elementary school be at. And a really good tip here, if you're wondering about a certain house, if you're at that point where you're starting to look at particular houses or particular neighborhoods, you can use, and I'll put the link right here, you're seeing it across the screen, you can use the county school bus locator to see exactly what schools your child would go to from that exact address. So if you have an idea of a neighborhood you want to be in, or even an exact house, you can punch it right in that school bus locator, and without a doubt, because it's through St. Mary's County Public Schools, you're pretty much guaranteed that those are the schools you're going to go to. Zillow and other places like that sometimes will list schools, and it can be a little bit misleading because they sometimes get it wrong. So that's my surefire way of making sure it's right. And then also, it's always great to confirm with the school system itself. All right, so the last thing is what's coming next. Now, St. Mary's County has grown a lot over the last few years, over the last 20 years, and it's going to keep growing more is what they think. So a lot of research has been done, especially because St. Mary's County is trying to figure out how to grow smartly instead of kind of grow, and just be a growth mess. They want to figure out how to grow smartly and get more multifamily homes and kind of stuff like that for people to really go in and still preserve that rural St. Mary's County feel, but provide enough housing opportunities. So the 2 places that are going to be seeing a lot of growth are going to be California, Maryland, and then of course Leonardtown too. Now Leonardtown has a big, huge town plan that they're trying to do and really focus on making that downtown more accessible, more touristy, more like geared towards people coming down and experiencing downtown. And the center of it's going to be the waterfront they have in that downtown area, and really getting people to enjoy that area and maybe taking concerts and be able to walk throughout downtown and downtown waterfront area and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's going to draw a good amount of people to that area. So we'll look in that California area and that Leonardtown area as those places that are really going to grow over the next 5-10 years. So if you're someone that doesn't want to be around that growth, if you want to be kind of away from those people, might be somewhere you want to stay away from. All right, so that's St. Mary's County explained. That's a quick explanation of it, and I hope it helps you. I got tons of videos on the different little towns in St. Mary's County. If you look on the playlist, moving to St. Mary's County, it has all that kind of stuff on there. So go through those towns, learn the pros and cons of them, and just kind of get as much information as you can. And also, if you're overwhelmed, or if you need help, or you just want someone to talk to, make sure you use that contact information below, and I'd be happy to help you make a decision about where to move in Southern Maryland. And like I said before too, if you want, you can scroll down, click on that link, and we'll schedule a meeting with me, and we'll have a Zoom one-on-one to talk about your home buying needs. And last but not least, if you haven't yet, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified every single time we put out new content. I'll see you on the next video.